30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome. And on today's live show, our normal catch up on news around the Raspberry Pi ecosystem, some of the projects, some mine, some other people's, and some Q&A. So welcome and thank you very much for joining us. Hi, I'm John, your concierge to the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico, IoT, robotics and other fun tech, and welcome to my channel. This is my live stream. It's a slightly more relaxed look at the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico and other fun tech that I play with. If it's your first time watching my channel, then thank you very much for joining. If you're returning, then thank you very much for coming back. I really do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe. So how are you doing? Hope things are going well, and I hope that you're busy working on lots of projects with your Picos and other fun tech. Certainly I'm keeping well and lots of stuff keeping me busy. Since launching my web services course, I've been finding more and more interesting internet web services to play with, and that's taking up quite a bit of my time playing with some of that. More of that later, and indeed more of that in future episodes on the show. So what have we got coming up for today? What's on today's agenda? Well, usual agenda, so a little bit of a roundup about Pico news that I think might be interesting, a little bit of touch base around projects, then some of my plans of what's going on around the channel and what I'm up to, and finally some Q&A. And of course we can take some live Q&A if you want. So, you know, do shout out. I will try and keep an eye on the many screens in front of me. Oh, I understand that there's a little bit of an echo on my audio. I apologise for that. I don't know quite why you're getting some sound quality issues. Hopefully that's improved that now. Let me see and play around with that. If you can let me know whether the sound quality is improving, that would be appreciated. Otherwise, I'll just carry on chatting away without knowing what's going on as per normal. So yeah, if there's any... Great, thank you. I'm glad the sound quality is better. Thank you very much. It's for sound quality and monitoring that, it's really difficult when you try to do the live stream. It's one of the things I haven't quite managed, mastered. Sound is definitely one of the things that I still need to learn more about. But yeah, so any questions, more than happy to take live questions. I might not be able to answer them, but I might have an opinion on them, and it might give me some ideas of stuff to do on the channel at a later date. So do chirp in and I'd be more than happy to answer. So let's go into the world of news. What do I think is going on in the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico, RP2040 and any of the other exciting tech that we follow? Well, I think since my last live stream last month, I guess the big Raspberry Pi news is that Raspberry Pi are listed on the stock market, so it's now a public listed company. So what does that mean? Well, I guess if you're cynical, you might be saying it means that Raspberry Pi have lots of shareholders now, and they're going to be looking for profits rather than focusing on innovation. I'm not quite sure I see it in that way, and I'm sure they wouldn't officially be describing it in that way. All companies strive for profitability, and you know, whether you have shareholders or not, you still are trying to turn over money and invest that. And Raspberry Pi have a long history of investing in both innovation and education. And I'm sure that will stay, you know, they work very well with industry, with schools and with hobbyists. And I'm sure that will continue. I certainly hope so. I'm just hoping this launch means that they are nice and financially viable, and we will see that being invested in more innovation and more products. That's certainly where I would like them to go. You know, and we know that there was rumours last month about the successor of the RP2040 and therefore successors to the Pico. So, you know, let's keep our fingers crossed. This is all exciting news, and interesting things are going to happen. Certainly, I haven't bought any shares in Raspberry Pi yet, though I must admit it's something I have thought about. How about you? Did you invest in the launch? Let me know. I'd be interested in your thoughts. The other Raspberry Pi news I saw that was interested in, do you look at the Magpie Monday magazine, which comes out is free or subscription, available around the Raspberry Pi ecosystem? There's a really interesting article in there around building the silicon design team for the Raspberry Pi org. That's been a 10-year journey for them, and it's ended up, of course, with the release of the RP2040 and the Pico and all of those things. So it's quite a good read, actually, of how that's gone along that journey. So I will put a link in the show notes after I've done the show, yeah, it's worth a read. Go find that. Go have a look at that one. Last weekend was open source in San Francisco. Did anyone attend and go for that? It's looked really, really interesting. For those of you who don't know, open source is sort of the tinkerers and builders sort of event that happens in San Francisco each year. It's a little bit like a US version of Maker Central that we have in the UK in Birmingham. I think the big difference I noticed in open source is that there's a much bigger Raspberry Pi involvement and Raspberry Pi ecosystem and sort of hobbyist involvement too. And that's really nice to see. There's some good stuff went out from Raspberry Pi world onto YouTube that you might want to have a look at. Certainly, I think I perhaps should start saving up to try and make open source next year. It looks like a really good event and certainly worth attending. If you made it and went there, let me know what you thought and whether you think it's worth making the trip. It's quite a long one from the UK, obviously. Perhaps I should be starting using the money from my super thanks button on the channel to fund my trip to open source next year. Should we make that a goal for the channel? What do you think? And finally, a bit of a plug of stuff coming up. If you happen to be based in the UK and in the south of the UK near Brighton, then on the 17th of July is our next Breaking Breadboards event. Breaking Breadboards is a group that I and a couple of other people I know organise for tinkerers with hardware and software, people who work where the hardware meets the hot software really. And it will be a show and tell event for us to actually share some of the stuff that we're working on. It's a great event, really fun. The Breaking Breadboards is open to join and to come along. Sign up on the meetup.com. I'll put a link into the show notes when I get around to it after the event. But yeah, do come along. It's a wonderful event, and I'd love to meet you as well. If you've come from seeing me on the channel, then I'd love to meet you and say hello. So please do come along to that. So those were the bits of news I picked up on this week or this month. Did I miss anything? If I did, then let me know. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. And always good to get notified of stuff that's going on that I really ought to mention on the following live stream. So there'll be a live stream in July. Let me know, stuff that I should be mentioning on that too. So that's news. What should we go on to next? Projects. Well, what projects, I guess, have I been working on and what's going on in my project world? Well, you see a lot of that because that's what my channel's mainly about. So let's give you a little bit of a background of what's really going on behind the scenes on the stuff that I'm actually playing with, where I'm getting stuck and where I'm not. So this is the full openness session. So it's been a little while since I launched any of the videos talking about my robot arm. Does that mean the robot arm's dead and I've given up and moved on? No, not at all. I'm still working with that. This is the first robot arm that I've played with, indeed, and it's also the first one I've looked at with the ROS2 ecosystem and things like Move It 2. So Move It 2 is the planning framework that allows you to plan where you're moving the end of the arm and the locations it's going through, etc. This is quite a massive learning curve, actually, trying to understand and get up to speed on that, and that's taking me a little bit of the time. So I do plan on trying to do some more videos with that robot arm, but it is taking me a little bit of time. It's also interesting trying to find really good resources to learn this stuff and to get up to speed. Some of the sites and some of the stuff just doesn't work on on Raspberry Pis. Some of the sites are just way out of date. Some are just awful. Finding good information to learn on this stuff isn't actually easy. So when I find it and when I've got a nice clear explanation, I'll take you through it, and then I'll share lots more stuff on the robot arm. I've also got some ideas of evolving DDD, but I'll talk about them separately later or in another session, not today. So the other stuff I've been playing with is lots of stuff on the world of web services. So unless you've only just joined the channel, haven't seen many of your videos, you'll probably know that I author various courses on Udemy. And the most recent one that I published, which was published about a month ago, was on the subject of writing web service clients to run on the Pico W. And I really enjoyed writing that course and getting that out there, and certainly got some good reviews. Could be more people buying it than are at the moment, but not too bad for launch. But actually using the technology, I've had some fun on myself. So I've written some stuff to do IP geolocation, so using your IP address to work out where you are located roughly in geographic space. Use that to then get maps of that location using the Google's Map API. That was quite fun. Getting weather data. I live in the UK. Weather is sort of a hobby for us, really. Yes, getting weather forecasts is quite important. And I've most recently played with Telegram. So getting control of the Pico from Telegram. So using Telegram bot API to actually take control of the Pico. That's really quite fun. And I've got a video coming up about that next month, so you can look forward to that. That's I quite enjoyed that. I found that one really quite interesting. And this, I think, is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many great web services out there that we can tap into, and once you've got a framework and you understand how the Pico W and technologies like Core HTTP and Wolf SSL can be used, then actually there are lots more of these services that we can tap into and use. So those are the real projects that I've been sort of working on at the moment, as well as some other commercial stuff that I can't so easily talk about. But all good, and you know, the world continues to move on. So I haven't found any GitHub projects to share with you this month that I think are exciting and that you should look at. If you've got one, if you've got a project that you really think I should be mentioning in this lot, and let me know, get in contact. Please do reach out. On social media, I'm available as Dr Jon EA on just about every platform. And I do answer messages and I do read messages as well. My email address is in the description of my videos always. So, you know, it's easy to get in contact with me, give me a shout, and we can get something up. I'd love to position some other people's projects up in here as well. So let's talk about the channel. What's my plan on the channel? Where are we going, and what's going on in the world of Dr Jon EA? Well, hopefully lots. So broadcast schedule. I talk about this every time, and it's still very relevant. So I'm still broadcasting 3 videos per week. The big video goes out on a Thursday at 2 p.m. 1400 hours London time, and that will be, you know, 10 to 20 30 minutes of video content talking about one of my projects, or possibly even an interview with a builder and talking about some of the stuff they do. And that's the big one. And then there will be a cut down version of that to a roughly 3 minutes. I'm struggling getting them all down to 3 minutes. Some of them have been 4.5, but you know, there'll be a summary that goes out then available for the next Tuesday. I know some people really like the summaries because you can easily just sample it, you know, while you're having your sandwich at lunchtime, rather than, you know, needing to sit down and watch the entire lot. So if you do, let me know, and you know, I will keep making them. They are more effort, but I do think they're a worthwhile thing to try and get out there. And then in between those two, on a Sunday, I will do a live stream once a month, and then I am planning to continue these shorts. I'm still not sure I actually quite get the right format for shorts for YouTube. Some of my recent shorts apparently have done better, but I'm not quite sure I understand why. So I will continue to explore and expand what I'm doing around the world of shorts. So a short is a portrait video of less than a minute, but they will go out on a Sunday, also at 2 o'clock in the afternoon London time. So that's the broadcast schedule. So what else is going on with the channel? Well, I guess the other thing I'm trying to do is just settle down a little bit around imagery, around my world of how I'm portraying the channel and my brand. So I've gone with this concept of almost a relaxed hotel, come, stay, chill out, you know, ask us to guide you through the world of Picos and some of the future technology that you can have as concierges of that world. And I think I quite like some of that imagery and some of that ideas. I'm managing to make that a little bit more consistent in imagery from video to video and from image to image now, because I'm learning how to take control of the AI I use for generating some of my little graphics, like my virtual colleagues here on my right, and make them a little bit more consistent so they're not random, quite as random as they were when I first started this. So that's creating a bit more of a brand image. And to sort of align with that, then I've decided to try and sort of align my costume and my dress to look the same. So that's weird an idea, and I do sometimes feel that I've somewhat become overdressed on this channel. Perhaps I should have gone with a concept of overalls and a workshop, but I don't know. That overalls and workshops have definitely been done by several other people, and that's definitely what they do for their channels. So I wanted something unique for me. I wanted something that's unique for our world. It is the world of virtual space and software, so we can make it what we want. And I think the relaxed journey of come stay with us works, and I like it anyway. So yeah, this is the unique look of Dr. Jon EA. I hope you like it, because if not, you're stuck with it. So yeah, there we go. So what else have we got on the channel? Well, I'm going to continue to plug the new Super Thanks feature. So I've now become a YouTube partner, which means that there is a Super Thanks button, a button, you know, with thanks and a $ next to it, which is under each video. And that's where you can basically buy me a virtual cup of coffee or lunch or something, as a thank you for helping you unblock you with some of your projects, or you know, helping you out with the assignments at uni that you've got through because of one of my videos. Please, you know, use it. I can use that money to save up to attend open source next year in San Francisco perhaps, and we can all meet up there, and that would be really cool. Yes, that's what it's there for. Please do recognise it, me, and say thanks. I would do appreciate it, and I love all your feedback, good and bad. Had a nice one, or not less nice one, on Facebook this weekend, saying my videos are boring. So thanks. Okay, I take that. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're fun, and what I think is fun and what other people think might be different. I'm sure you have, you know, different opinions on what you like and what you don't. So remember, I'm out there on other channels. I've just mentioned that I'm out there on Facebook, absolutely, and there's content on Facebook. There's content on X, formerly known as Twitter. There's content on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and also on my website, DrJonEA.co.uk. Please do follow me on the other channels. I probably favour towards Instagram and LinkedIn, you know, I will endeavour to answer on any of those channels, and there's certainly content goes out on them. I have been trying to use Instagram as a little bit more of an inside view of what's also going on in my world and all the stuff that I'm actually working on, rather than putting that out on all the channels. I'm not very good at keeping up with that, but do pester me if you like that. If you want to know what's going on and my daily struggles and daily tasks, then keep pestering me, and I will keep trying to put some of that stuff up. It's certainly a different view, and I certainly follow some people which it fascinates me, the sort of stuff they get up to. So yeah, that's all good stuff. So that's the plans and stuff for the channel. Q&A. So I got a couple of questions already in for people to answer. So I will go through those, and don't think any live questions as yet, so just these fascinating questions coming in that I've pre-prepared for. So you probably saw me do some videos on that badge and this TFT screen, the MSP 2401 TFT screen is and one of the guys commented that actually working with these screens is actually quite complicated, and is there an easy option for those getting started? And I must admit, I do agree. You know, these screens and going from nothing to getting these screens working is actually not. It's absolutely achievable, but it isn't perhaps for the faint-hearted. And you know, it wouldn't be where I would want to start either. So, and indeed it isn't where I started with these things. So Probably the place that I would start would be with one of the I2C OLED screens using the SSD 1306 chips. They're quite small, normally about 128 by 64 pixels, and they're black and white, or normally blue and white screens. They're really good. They work very easily with a Pico. And in fact, since having this question, I realized that this was such a good thing to actually get out there that I will do a video on this, and this will go out next month. And it will be a beginner's guide video that shows how to use some of these displays and get some text actually displayed, because I think they're the place I would start. And I'd like to put some stuff out there that is for people, you know, coming early into the playing with the Raspberry Pi Picos. Of course, it will be C and C++, because that's mainly what I deal with on my site, which is a great segue into question number 2, which is, could I use MicroPython instead? Yes, is the answer to that. Yes, I could use it, but I choose not to. Let me explain why, and perhaps what really the question is, you know, is why I don't use Python on the Pico. And I guess the question and the answer to that is really 2 parts to that. So firstly, one is a bit of a marketing and positioning for this channel and the stuff I'm doing, because there is quite a lot of stuff out there with MicroPython on the Pico. And so in order to make myself a unique and give myself unique IP, I've touched into the world of C++. And that's, you know, my world and the world I've sort of tried to explain and open up and make available to people. So that's why I've sort of split off into that space, really. The other less marketing and more engineering answer is that MicroPython is great. You can do a huge amount with it, but there are certain things that are actually much easier to do in C and C++, where it's easier for me to work directly with the hardware. It's easier for me to do things like multitasking using frameworks like FreeRTOS. It's easier for me to adapt to robots frameworks like MicroROS. No binding is available for MicroROS for MicroPython. So there are some things which there are some things that MicroPython is really, really good for. There is quite a lot that actually, you know, C and C++ are really good for. And I've tended to do that. And because I've got that set up, I can actually get C and C++ projects off the ground very, very quickly. It would actually technically take me a bit more time to get a MicroPython project off the ground than it would a C and C++ one, which tends to lead me into the C and C++. It's, you know, you've got the hammer to hand. Yes, I know it's a screw, but I might as well just use a hammer anyway. And I might be falling into that way, so I apologize for that. At some point, I will do a comparison video and try and do some comparison between C++ and MicroPython on the Pico and give some examples. I haven't got one in production at the moment, but that's something I will try and do at some point. So there we go. So questions are live. Firstly, I like your style. It's funny, but not dumb. If you're well, thank you very much, mate. I appreciate the point. I really must get a bigger screen. Hang on, I'm getting old. My ability to read small text is getting difficult. Olimar in my RPI is my next project. I've not come across Olimar. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, okay, I'll have a look at that one later. Thank you very much for raising that. Another question. So the backgrounds that I use, they're really cool. How do I do them? They're basically, I use Bing AI image creator, which is using part of the ChatGPT libraries to do image creation. It's just giving it the right prompt. So that's what that is and how that works. Rumours about a new Pico. Yes, well, go check out the last episode. You'll hear all the rumours. Basically, the Raspberry Pi CEO made a rumour and statement that there might be a successor to RP2040 this year. So, but full disclosure and all the information, go check out last month's live stream. Oh, the picture on my wall, the galactic unicorn. Yes, there is a galactic unicorn. There are videos talking about the galactic unicorn and how I built that and how that's picking up PNGs coming out of a USB key on the channel. Go have a look and it will tell you all through that project and how that works. But yeah, it was fun stuff and it looks quite good in the background. So enjoy. Cool. So it's great having live questions. I really do appreciate it. It also makes me feel like I'm not actually just talking to a brick wall, which is also quite nice. Sometimes when you're doing this, it feels very one way, and you're thinking, actually, is there anyone out there? Am I just doing this for fun? Who knows? Yeah. So thank you very much for the live questions. I appreciate them. So that's it for today, really. I will do another live stream in July. I will bung up dates and times very soon on YouTube, so you can see them and book it into your diary. And I'll do some trailer video as well at some point. Do let me know what you think of the live stream. Comment and like and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, do keep tinkering. So thank you very much and goodbye for now.